talking about grappling and taking down, Gordon Ryan, impressive submission went at who's number one last week. Now, he's also, prior to that matchup as well, against Wagner Rocha, he's actually been signed with one championship.
Didn't see that coming.
Did not see that that happening either. Now, he's talked to the founder of one championship who offered him this. And his deal actually included grappling in one championship, but the offer on that was also MMA was on the table as well if he wishes to pursue it. When it was, he said if, and then later in the post he said when I pursue it, which is interesting because he's got one of the best MMA coaches he can get out there, John Davenhart.
Well, true. But he was always he was one of those fighters outside of the UFC that everybody wanted to transition to. He's probably the most, I would argue, say he's the best grappler right now in the world.
Yes, number one pound for pound. Yeah,
pound for pound. But also he's young too. He's still in his 20s.
Yeah, if he was to fight in one championship, he would have to fight. Well, he currently competes at 99 kg.
Yeah.
In all his grappling tournaments, so he would have to cut weight. I don't think he should be.
I don't think he should fight light heavyweight.
I don't think so. I think he needs to go to middleweight.
Yeah, I reckon he can go to middleweight. But I don't know much about his striking. I barely know anything about his striking.
I've looked for videos and pictures of him striking. It's very difficult. I can't find a picture of him wearing boxing gloves.
Well, the other thing is he's probably the most outspoken and most popular in terms of marketability, in terms of grappling. If you think about it, we just talked about this in one of our previous episodes about when he slapped
Andre Galvao.
That's it, Andre Galvao. He brought so many people to the sport because of his personality. Again, it sells. He loves to hype it up. It sells. He loves a little beef. It sells. It goes so well, and I feel like a lot of people who would transition from watching him from these grappling competitions would definitely go and watch him in his one championship competition. But he hasn't. I mean, we're actually seeing this wave of people transition to one championship, like John Wayne Parr. He's Australian legend, kickboxer, Muay Thai fighter, multiple world champions. He's transitioning now to ONE FC. So ONE FC is now starting to branch out. So it's not just an MMA organization, but it wants to be its own, like, grappling and kickboxing, boxing.
Well, they've done that for the last few years at least. The kickboxing rounds with the MMA gloves, and they've had MMA, they've had grappling as well. It's a one-stop shop for just combat sports in general, and it's not just purely MMA, right? Although they do branch out, right? They've got the grappling matches, they've got the kickboxing matches as well with the MMA gloves, right? Interesting that John Wayne Parr's next matchup is against Nicky Holtzkin, who's an incredibly gifted kickboxer, noticeably a lot younger than John Wayne Parr. Mm-hmm. But it's cool that they're picking really high level talent and they're building them up under the one championship umbrella. And I'm interested to see Gordon, if he does transition to MMA. We know one of his teammates, Gary Tonin, did very well and is still doing very well in MMA, actually. I believe he's undefeated now. He needs to be able to strike comfortably. And I think he's got, obviously someone that's that strong needs to be able to inflict damage with that power that he has, and he needs to do it efficiently. Grappling cardio is different from kickboxing cardio. It's different. Now, I'd love for him to, obviously John Danaher will probably match him up with a really good coach if he does transition to MMA. However, look, I think he could be very successful at MMA. I think Gordon, he's 25. He's not exactly 30. You know how we were talking about Tyrone earlier, 38 years old, not really going to learn new skills? Gordon, fuck yeah, he can learn new skills. Yeah, he's coming to MMA a bit late, right? But let's talk about Francis Ngannou, who just beat Stipe. He found MMA when he was 21. Mm-hmm. Granted, Gordon is 25. However, he's been in combat sports. He's been grappling, right? He's a powerful big guy at 99 kilos. I could definitely see Gordon doing very well at MMA, just like Gary Tonin. I really think it. I think Gordon could transition very quickly from grappling to MMA, especially since he doesn't really train in the gi. He trains in no gi.
Yeah.
Perfect transition to MMA.
Yeah.
I think Gordon, following his win against Wagner Rocha, I think he's going to do really well in one championship. I think he's got more challenges for himself, right? And I think I'm praying he does MMA, right? I hope he doesn't leave it too late, and I hope he does it very soon and starts training correctly. Even if he's he's doing grappling, but then he's just training on the side. And once he feels his skill base is up there, transitions, gets an MMA, has an MMA fight through one championship, goes straight towards it. I don't think he needs any amateur fights or anything like that. Go straight to his pro debut.
Yeah.
I think he could do incredibly well, just like Gary Tonin.
But I reckon he could bring the whole sport with him as well. I reckon that would sell. And one championship is now increasingly becoming a lot more popular. And there's been a lot of positive comments that are coming out of it. Like even when we had Antonio Caruso on the podcast, they talked about how much better it is to be having those hydration tests and finding out natural weight compared to weight cuts.